Hi, welcome to another edition of Minecraft Master Builds. In today's episode, we are going to be doing a tutorial on a video I did recently on a rail selector switch and a rail transportation system. Um, Pretty much what it does is it allows you to go from a base or your house or wherever you are uh, from one rail to 8 different locations, uh, which is pretty neat. It accomplishes this by the use of a selector switch and some wiring. As you can see, the wiring is a little bit big. The problem is uh, with these rail systems to allow them to switch, uh, they got to be longer. So the wiring doesn't get confused. The redstone with the next circuit. So anyways, let me show you guys how this works. Let's say we want to go to location 6. We just hop in the minecart, push the button, off we go, and then we're now at location 6, wherever that would be in your world. When you're ready to come back from location 6, you just hop in the minecart, hit the button, and we come back around. The rail switches back, and now we're back at our base. Let's say we wanted to go to location 3, just push the button, and off we go. And then we arrive at location 3. We hit the button again, and we return back to our base, minus the bunny. So, anyways, I'm going to show you guys how to build this today. Uh, what we're going to need for this build is a whole bunch of rails. Powered rails. I enjoy using powered rails because they get you there faster. But I understand that some people don't have the gold that's necessary uh, to build all the powered rails. So in lieu of a lot of the powered rails, you can use regular minecart rails. Uh, you have to use powered rails between each one of these uh, rows here for your different locations. And the reason for that being is that way the rails don't get confused. If you use regular rails, then they'll kind of get jumbled together, and it turns into a headache. So, anyways, let's start building this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find our area, and we're gonna take and we're gonna build our wall for our minecart to sit on, and our selector switch. So we're gonna do a 3 by 3 wall. I always just like putting this back here all the way up. And now we will go get a sign or an item frame here. We'll get our item frame out and we'll place it right there on that block in the middle. And then we will we'll go get a arrow for our selector, and we'll put it right there on that block. Now, what you'll have to do is you'll have to go through later on and place signs for all the different locations after you've ran all your rails, wherever your signs can say whatever location it's going to, whether it's your mine or slime farm or just different places on the map, different coordinates, wherever. So next we'll go to our redstone here, and we got to get some torches out because we're going to need those in a minute. And then what we'll do, oh man, what we'll do is we'll start on this block here, and we'll put one block down. And then all the way across, everywhere that you see the purple, we're going to just be placing one block. All the way across and back here, here, and here. And this is for our selector switch. So now right here where we got our first block, we're going to be placing a comparator. And from this comparator, we'll be placing a solid block. To the left of that solid block, we'll place a comparator, and then we'll place another comparator right there. Here, we will be placing a comparator, and this comparator here will be put in on subtraction mode. We'll place some redstone here, a torch here, some more redstone all the way down on this block here, facing this way towards the yellow circuit. We'll be placing a comparator, and then more redstone all the way back here, and don't forget that little dab there. Now, we will be starting putting torches from one block in on here, 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 and here. And I messed up because we were supposed to place a comparator right there. Oops, not a repeater, comparator. There we go. So now as you can see, the first torch is on, and that would be signify that the number 1 is being activated. So if we went to number 2, then the number 2 torch would be on. I really don't want to get into explaining all this and how this selector switch works today, but just let it be known that what it does is it's got a positive signal on one side and like a subtraction or other signal that's fighting against it, and then you can see wherever the signal dies at, that's the torch that is actually active at the time. So now what we're going to do is we are going to be starting by placing some redstone here, all the way across, all the way up to right there. And then we will skip one, and we will place redstone all the way up to the block that it goes to. And then we will be doing it again. Skip one, redstone all the way up, skip one, redstone all the way up. And now everywhere that there's not redstone, we're going to be placing a repeater. And then again here, more repeaters. Oops. And again, more repeaters and repeaters again. Now on the end of every one of these circuits, we're just going to go ahead and place a repeater.
Was that what you did, Ted?
Hey guys, don't forget to add a repeater right here too. I forgot to mention that earlier. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take our redstone and, well, let's put down a line of green blocks here on the end of these blocks. And now we're going to be taking our redstone, and everywhere on these yellow blocks, we're just going to place redstone dust. And that's going to run all the way back to the blocks that are hanging, or that are raised, and these repeaters. And I believe that's all that there is. So now what we're going to be doing is we are going to take, and for now we're going to go to our rails, and we're going to get our powered rail out. We're going to get our regular rail out, and we are going to need one detector rail for this build. So what we'll do is we will start by, in this far corner here, we'll place a regular rail, and then we'll place a powered rail and another powered rail. Then everywhere on these blocks we'll place regular rails, and then every one of these blocks we will place a powered rail. And then what we will do is on all these blocks, we will place a regular rail. Just like so. So now what we'll do is we will go under here, and on every one of these yellow circuits where the green block is, we will place a torch. And that will allow the switching action later on. What this actually does is, as the minecart is traveling along the rails, when it comes to a rail section that is facing forward and angled from the previous rail, it will actually jump over that. It's only when the back side of the rail, such as here, is facing or is curved into the circuit that it will actually go down to that circuit. So that's what these redstone torches actually do. As you can see, this one's shut off here, so it allows it to switch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, just because I enjoy powered rails, we're going to put powered rails there except for right here. Powered rails all the way back across here, and a regular rail, and back down to powered rails, all the way across on this orange circuit. And I think we'll put some regular rails here, because now what we're going to need to do is just bust these two blocks out, put a powered rail there, break that powered rail, get our block of quartz back out, and place the quartz back up. And then we need to place our button, which will be right there. So now when the button's activated after you made the selection, if you notice, that gets a pulse tick and activates the minecart, sending it off. That's why it's got to be raised on an angle. So now we've got that all done. Let's go over here, and we're going to place some powered rails, 4, 5, 6, and then right here on the 7th, we're going to place a detector rail. And then more powered rails all the way back to right here, regular rail so we can make the corner, and then all the way down with the powered rails. A quick update, don't forget to, originally I put a powered rail here, but that should actually be a regular rail and then a powered rail. So just so you guys know. And we'll get to this side of this circuit in a minute. Let's, for now, get to our regular rails. Place our regular rails all right here. Not right there. So now that all our rails are set up here, what we're going to do is we are going to place our return rails on here. This rail, every one of these has to be a powered rail. And then we got to raise them all up. And now we delete all the powered rails up here. And I messed up again. What you don't want to do is you never want to have a rail just up like this and then break the rail up here and then put it down, because it'll automatically make that rail go flat. So what you have to do is make sure that there's a rail behind that rail before you break the top rail. So now everywhere that we got these powered rails, we're just going to put a block up top, and then on every one of these blocks, we will put a button. And now we will run the regular rails all the way back to here. And now that part is done. So now, the next thing that we need to do is everywhere that there is a space between this, we need to put a powered rail. But before we put the powered rail, we should probably dig down 2 blocks, place a torch, and then cover it up. Now everywhere that we've dug down and put a torch, place a powered rail. Don't worry, we'll be deleting these in 1 second here. Because now what we need to do is we need to place a rail facing that way. And then every time that we place a rail facing, oops, we gotta go ahead and delete these top rails just for a second. Every time we place a rail facing that way, we have to delete it. The previous rail, delete the previous rail, delete, delete. Just so we can get these rails to curve. Because then what's going to happen is on the return, when you send it out, the minecart goes straight down and actually skips over this rail because it's bent facing this way. But on the return, when it comes back, it actually comes across this and then skips over these rails and goes back up and around to here. And that is your return. So now we'll go back and we'll place our regular rails back on here. And we will go over here to our return signal button. What we're going to do, our detector rail rather, is we're going to place 2 redstone there. We are going to place a repeater, a redstone dust there. We are going to place a torch right here. Yes, that is correct. And now we are going to place a repeater facing outward this way into a block, and we should probably do is the one thing that I wasn't thinking about, which was powering the rails, which is quite simple. You just dig down 2, place a torch, block over the top, and now the rails are powered. And now we're going to go up here. What I've always done usually is built a wall on both sides of this. So while you were in the cart, you couldn't see any of the circuitry or anything. And below the wall, on this line, I've always just placed a torch to light up the redstone. So I suggest that you guys do something like that because it makes it fairly easy to light it up. And it's a minimum inconvenience. And then for in between each one of these torches, we're just going to go ahead and place a torch. They'll constantly stay powered on, and they will power these redstones in between here. And then for here, it was the same thing. We were just going to place a torch, and then a block, and then another torch, and another block. And then here again, since it's so early in the circuit, I guess we can do that, and it should go all the way up. Yep. So that's good. So I think now we got it all light it up. So now what we're going to do is we got number 8 selected. So now we're going to get in the MineCart, hit the button, and it should take us to the very last one, which is right here. That would be number 8. So now we hit the button again, and let's make sure the return works. And it sends us back. No problems. And now let's go to number 1. Number 1. And now the return. And no problems there. And that is how you build the transportation system. It's fairly simple, straightforward. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and leave your comments below. I am going to be working on some more videos in the near future here, so where it'll be a new series on all the different ways for Minecraft Steve to die. And they're going to be pretty epic ways. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I'll post a different video every day. So hopefully it becomes pretty entertaining, and that's why I need you guys to like and subscribe and leave your comments below, and don't forget to hit the bell. Have a good day. Thank you.